Okay, we're back, and we apologize for the technical problem. It's the top of the second inning, and what you missed was the seventh place hitter, John Dresinski, singled, stole second, but was picked off of second base. And so it's 1 out, 1-0 our score. Platteville leading. They got their run at the top of the first, obviously. It's 1 ball, 1 strike to the 8th place hitter, Riley Niehaus, the third baseman, and the pitch is outside, 2 balls and a strike. Not sure what happened with the phone. It kind of decided to shut off. So I don't know if it kept the first part of the game or not as far as the Facebook Live goes. And the pitch is outside, and it is 3 balls and 1 strike. So just in case it didn't, we'll tell you that Wanazek led off with a walk. And after a grounded back to the pitcher, who got over to second, went to third by a stolen base, and the pitch meanwhile was outside. And so Niehaus walks, runner first with 1 out, and here's the 9th hitter, Desmond Meeson, the right fielder. And he hits it back up the middle, and the throw will be to second to get the force, and then to first double play. 1-6-3. And that quickly ends the inning. So a walk, actually a base hit and a walk. One erased on a caught stealing, and the other erased on a double play. And so our score after an inning and a half is Platteville 1, Kieler nothing. Just in case it didn't record, we will tell you how the Platteville run came in. Again, it was a leadoff walk for Wyatt Wanazek, who will lead off the top of the third. Banfield grounded to the pitcher. Timlin walked. Wanazek stole third. Both runners, stole second. Both runners went to third, or went up to second and third on a wild pitch. And then a pop-up, and then a base hit for Seth Millsap that drove in the first run, and so far only run of the game, Wyatt Wanazek. And then Kieler went down 1-2-3 in the first inning. And so down at the bottom of the second inning, it will be Dylan Duvet, Trail, and Lucy. And yeah, I apologize on behalf of my phone for just deciding to shut itself off. And yes, there's a ball over here, but I can't really get to it because, of course, I'm behind the fence. And it's a little, where I'm sitting, it's a little difficult to move also because I'm kind of low down here. But I had a chair. I had actually 2 chairs earlier. One of them disappeared, so I have the Boy Scout chair, one of 74 of them we have in the house for things like baseball games, swim meets, and other outdoor uses. And the people listening who are travel team parents know what it's like. First pitch to Duvet is a strike. One ball, 1 strike. Again, Platteville with a win on, or this morning, I should say, 10-4. In the 5-inning game, where they were the home team, they scored runs in every inning. 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 3 in the third, and 4 in the fourth. And Schultzberg had single runs in the second, third, fourth, and fifth. Chopper to the left, and then a base hit. So the first hit for Kieler. Dylan gets a hit on Dylan. And here is Tranel. trailed the first baseman. Kieler's coach made mention that he suspects that there'll be a lot of moving around in this game, which is not surprising. And that pitch is grounded to short, but nobody able to field it. So it's first and second and nobody out. Two balls hit more or less to the same place. Platteville leads 1-0 in the bottom of the second, but now 2 runners aboard and nobody out. And here's Max Lucy, the pitcher, and that pitch bounced in there for ball 1. Throw back to second, and Duve is able to get in. Again, the winner will play Benton or Cuba City. That's the 7-2 matchup. And that game is going to be played tomorrow morning at 9. And so the winner of this game plays in that game at 12:30 tomorrow. And it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. I'm reminded I didn't get any bug spray. Chopper to third, and the throw to first, and Timlin hits the bag. Both runners are able to advance on the 5-3 putout. And so it's second and third with 1 out. And here is Julian Duve, the center fielder. Well, Platteville in the second inning of the first game, remember, they had bases loaded and nobody out, and managed to get out of it with just 1 run given up and a fly ball to center, and the catch is made, and Banfield ran in, and that held the runners. So nobody able to advance on the fly ball to center field, and 2 away for Jace Metz, who starts in right field. And it is, as you can see, a left-handed hitter, and he takes outside ball 1. Two balls, no strikes. Always interesting to see how right-handed pitchers respond to left-handed hitters because there are not that many of them. That's inside, and it's 3 balls, no strikes. Bell Richard on deck. Strike, 3-1. In fact, as I think about it, I don't believe Platteville has any left-handed hitters. I'm not sure what, at least in the lineup today, I do not believe they do. 3-1, swing and a miss, 3-2. That was an inside corner fastball. It's like, here, hit this if you can. So it's 3-2 with 2 out. Swing and a miss, and that ends the inning. They got 2 aboard. Kieler did with nobody out, and neither of them is able to score. And our score after 2, it is Platteville 1, Kieler nothing. For the latest, well, sports coverage, but more importantly of late, news coverage and coverage of the weather, check out the Platteville Journal on Facebook and on the website, www.swnews4u.com. Updated this morning with the mess in Potosi and Cassville. Much worse, I think, in Cassville, from what I understand, with all the flooding that took place last night. Several roads closed throughout Grant County. Highway 23 is closed at the Darlington Pecatonica River Bridge. or at least it was. I haven't heard that they reopened it, and I would be surprised if that's the case because I'm sure the water is still quite high right now. I can tell you that the Platte River between Potosi and Dickeyville is all the way up the bottoms. It is about 5 times as wide as it usually is, or maybe more than that even. In fact, I'm not sure that I have seen that much water in the Platte River down between Potosi and Dickeyville. That's as much water as I've seen since probably that hugely wet year in 1993 when we had the 6-week-long Mississippi River floods. There is that much water, and in Potosi earlier today, where I was, there's less water, but you can see where the water was because of there's mud all over from the brewery saloon down almost as far as where 133 heads to Cassville, and there's trees in various places that don't belong there, and you can even see grass and plantings on the side of the road. They're all going in the direction of where the water went. That's how bad it is. And check out the paper this week, the Journal, and to subscribe, 348-3006. Top of the order in the top of the 3rd inning, Wyatt Wanizek, who walked and scored to lead off the ball game. Platteville leading 1-0, and it's 3 balls, no strikes. Top of the order in the 3rd, and that's ball 4. A 4-pitch walk, and Wanizek still doesn't have an official at bat because he has 2 walks. And now Banfield, who grounded back to the pitcher in the 1st inning. Kelly Johnson, the coach, at 3rd. And Kurt Timlin over at 1st. And that's ball 1 meanwhile. And it looks as though that pitch is a strike. And the throw not in time. So a stolen base. And the pitch is outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Here's the 2-0. Swing and a miss. 2-1. Banfield's played center field for, I think, the whole season, except for the fact now I think about it, I think he's played a game at short also at least. That pitch outside, and it's 3 balls, 1 strike. So it's 2/3 of a speed outfield with Banfield in center and John Drefsinski playing over in left field. 3-1. Chopper to short and through short for a base hit. Around 3rd. And the throw is not in time, and going to 2nd is Banfield. Wanizek comes in, and it's 2-0 Platteville. And going to 2nd on the throw is Banfield, and now here is Connor Timlin, and why he is called Cheese, I'm not sure. He walked back in the 1st inning. Outside ball 1. Of course, as you know, as the rule of nicknames is you can never give yourself a nickname. You will always be given a nickname by usually consensus of your buddies. Throw back, and Banfield slides in under the tag. One ball, no strikes. And Lucy fakes a throw. And now throws, and Banfield back as they try to pick him off. And actually, they were able to do that. Remember, in the 1st inning with Drosinski, he got got to second and then was picked off second base. Now this one hit to right, but caught by the second baseman. And a nice defensive play there. One out. And Banfield had to get back to second base. And now here's Dylan Prestigard, who popped up to the pitcher in the first inning. He was 3 for 3 in the first game. So as I said, that was the first out he'd made today. Platteville leading 2-0, 1 out. In the top of the third inning, winner gets Benton or Cuba City. And after they are done playing at 9 tomorrow, that game, that winner in this winter will be at 12:30 Sunday afternoon. Here's the 1-0. And that's a strike. Dropped by the catcher Rogers, but Banfield wasn't going anyplace. 1-1. And a chopper to third. Runner won't be able to advance. Low throw, but, well, now he does advance. So on a delayed advance, he is able to get to third on the ground out. And so runner third with 2 out. And it's up to Seth Millsap, who I call 1 prime. He's number 11, of course, but if you note, there was a little bit of error when his shirt was made. The second 1 is a little lower than the first 1. I think that's 1 prime, isn't that right? It's not 1 to the first power. That would be the other way around. Not like I'm a math expert or anything, but here's the 1-0. And Millsap hits a foul, and that hit the asphalt. And not a body part. 1 ball, 1 strike. Platteville leading 1-0, 2 out in the top of the third inning. Check that. 2-0. Even I knew that. Platteville leading 2-0, 2 out in the top of the third. Swing and a miss. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Sun hiding from at least me for the moment behind a light pole. And here's the 1-1 pitch. 2 balls and a strike. The 2-1 pitch. 3 balls and a strike. Brendan Edge, the catcher, on deck. Wearing the shin guard. The 3-1 pitch is a strike at the knees. For strike 2. I guess I missed that. And so Millsap strikes out. I guess that explains why Edge had the shin pads on. But Platteville gets another run. Leaves 1, and our score after 2.5, it is Platteville 2, Kieler 0. Bottom of the third inning here at Chamberlain Field at Legion Park in Platteville. It's 2-0 Platteville leading Kieler, the 3rd seed. Trying to get to the semifinal tomorrow afternoon. against the winner of tomorrow morning's game between Benton and Cuba City. They are playing at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, and the winner of that game plays the winner of this game at 12:30. Before that game, and I suppose during the Benton-Cuba City game, is the beginning as Dylan Prestegard throws the first pitch for strike one to the 7th place hitter, Bell Richard. High. No, it went around. And it's 2 strikes quickly. That was a high pitch, but he did swing at it, so it's 2 strikes. Bounced up there, and it's 2 balls. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kieler in the second inning got 2 runners aboard. Got the first 2 runners aboard and left them on base. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two. Bounced up there to 3 balls, 2 strikes. 7, 8, 9 batters, or actually 9, 10, 11 batters. Richard Pergandy and Kalen Splinter. In this all-red ball game, you might notice. And the 2-2 pitch. 3-2. And that's ball 4. Leadoff batter aboard. In the bottom of the 3rd inning, Cuba City might be next. Platteville leading Kieler 2-0. I got a little distracted because I'm thinking of the next thing I'm going to bring up, that color thing. Back to the pitcher. Prestegard to short for 1, and the throw, and out. No, save it. Saved barely at first, so a fielder's choice. 1-6 putout gets the lead runner. And Pergandy over at first with 1 away. And here's the 11th hitter, Kalen Splinter. Platteville leading 2-0, 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd. Kieler, the home team, because they are the higher seed, 3rd versus Platteville 6. And Platteville this morning beat the 11th seed, Schulzberg, 10-4 in 5 innings. Outside. And it's 1 ball, no strikes. We can tell you because of that games are 6 innings or the inning that starts before the hour-and-a-half time limit is up. 1 ball, 1 strike. It changes for every tournament, of course. And of course, for league play, you're never quite sure. Chop to short and drop, but they get the... No, they don't get the force at second. That was a hard-hit ball that Wanazek couldn't handle, but tried to get the shovel over to second, but apparently didn't touch second. So an error makes it first and second with 1 out. And this is hit to center field, and on a run, Banfield makes the catch. And Banfield, the next, is able to retire Rogers. 2 out. Rogers had flied to left. Now he is lined out to center. And here is Splinter in a throwback to second. Splinter flied to left also in the 1st inning. Platteville with a run in the 1st and a run in the 3rd. Runners at 1st and 2nd, and that hits Splinter. So the bases are loaded with 2 outs. And here's McKinley, who, it must be said, kind of ironically, is the son of the Platteville police chief, Doug McKinley. And as you can see, a left-handed hitter. And that's a strike. Grounded out to second to end the first inning did McKinley, but he's got bases loaded here. And 2 out. Platteville leading 2-0. And the 0-1. And foul down the left field line. And it's quickly 2 strikes. The 0-2 pitch. And a grounder to third. And the throw to first, sliding in there, but not in time to avoid the out. And so McKinley is retired. And Kieler loads the bases and leaves them loaded. They've left 5 in 2 innings and in 2 of the 3 innings and no runs. And our score after 3, Platteville 2, Kieler nothing. Platteville leads 2-0 as we go to the 4th inning and a new pitcher. And who is that new pitcher, you ask? And it is Colson Splinter, who has moved from shortstop to pitcher here in the 4th inning. Now here's a little small world trivia point. We mentioned that McKinley is the son of Platteville Police Chief Doug McKinley, who, by the way, happens to be a native of Dodgeville. And the kind of amusing thing about that is that young McKinley's sister and Dylan Prestigard, who started the game at pitcher, hunted for pheasant together last October. Pheasants Forever does a great thing for kids who complete the hunter safety class that is taught here in Platteville. They give them an invitation to go out and hunt for pheasants out at of course, I knew that. I would forget what it is. It's over by It's between Mineral Point and Belmont. It's a great place that I cannot remember what the name is. That's just great. Meanwhile, a ground ball up to short, and that'll be an infield hit. A nice defensive play, but he was unable to make a throw, and so as a result of that, it's an infield single for Brendan Edge. Edge grounded back to the pitcher to end the first, and here is John Drewczynski. And I knew that was going to happen at some point. All right. You'll enjoy that. The ball went to the screen. And so Edge got over to second base. And the ball hits again. And this time, Drewczynski will hit to third, but at least I didn't drop the phone this time. 2 balls, no strikes. That's what happens when you hold the phone right up against the screen and maybe you're not holding it that tight and crash. Back to the pitcher. And the throw back to third, and they get the out. So Edge was retired 1-5 for the first out. Drewczynski aboard on a fielder's choice. And one away here in the top of the 4th inning with Platteville leading 2-0. Runs in the first and in the third. And Kieler, meanwhile, they've left 5 runners aboard but scored none of them so far. Drewsinski now at first. And Niehaus at the plate. And now Drewsinski at second after the stolen base. Platteville is, as you can see, considerably aggressive on the base paths. And they've had, particularly with both Banfield and Drewsinski, they're probably two fastest guys, but with others also. And a swing and a miss. And it's quickly 2 strikes to Niehaus. I hope I didn't do something to wipe out the sound by dropping the ball or dropping the phone, by the way. And a wild pitch, or actually I think a pass ball because it hit the catcher's glove, and so Drewsinski quickly over to third with 1 out. And it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. And as you might see, the sun is going away because a cloud came in front, and that ball goes to the screen. Drewsinski, however, not going from third. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And I certainly hope that the picture, which appears to be adjusting automatically, that's good because I don't think I could adjust it when I'm on live. Swing and a miss. And actually, that was not Niehaus, I believe. Well, it's a swing and a miss anyway. And here's Jagger Johnson. And that's ball 1.
Good eye, Jack.
High, 2 balls, no strikes. Swing and a miss. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Got this, Jagger.
Cooper Withrow, that's who that was before. And meanwhile, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Johnson fouls that off. Drewsinski at third, 2 out. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Top of the order. And Wanizek on deck. Platteville leading 2-0 with 2 out here in the top of the 4th inning. And that's strike 3. So Platteville gets 2 runners on, leaves 1 on, and doesn't score. And our score after 3.5 is Platteville 2, Kieler 0. Bottom of the fourth inning, 2-0 Platteville. And Dylan Prestigard's pitching day is done. Wyatt Wanizek moves from shortstop to pitcher. So we have a new shortstop. And actually, I believe Dylan Prestigard is now at third base, which is where Niehaus started, and I'm not sure who the shortstop. I have to think about that in a moment. And the first pitch is strike, meanwhile, to Duvet. From Platteville fans' perspective, this might be tempting fate, but Kieler has left 5 runners on base in 3 innings and not gotten any of them in. Pop foul, third base side out of play. And quickly 2 strikes. Here's the 0-2. Bounced in there, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Wanizek pitched the last 2 innings of the win over Schulzberg this morning. In fact, he was the only pitcher to pitch more than 1 inning for Platteville. The 1-2 bounced in there. And it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Just checking my watch. And I don't think, well, remember, it's an hour and a half. Whatever inning starts before the hour and a half mark, that's it. As now Kelly Johnston comes out, and it looks like they're doing a little mound work here in front of Wyatt Wanizek. 1 ball, 2 strikes with nobody out. Duvet, Tranel, and Lucy are due up, and Millsap, meanwhile, he pitched, as we mentioned, he pitched the last 2 innings in the first game. And that's grounded to short. And the throw in time and 1 out. And by the way, it is Wyatt Wanizek over at third base. And in case I said that Wanizek was pitching, that was wrong. So Wanizek over at third, and Prestigard is over at short. Actually, let me flip that. Prestigard's at third, and Wanizek is at short. And meanwhile, an infield single as the ball gets away briefly. So Tranel is aboard with his second hit of the day. I just blanked on Wyatt's number. That's the reason. So Wanizek over at short, and Prestigard over at third. And here's Lucy. Among other things, it's been a long day. and my stuff is getting wet, and of course it's very humid, and I think I'm sweating all over it. That's the problem here. Pitch is a strike, the throw, and in time! And Eds throws out Tranel on a 2-6 putout. So he's erased. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. And now the scoreboard is fixed. 1-1 to Lucy. 2 balls and a strike. I appreciate the correction because sometimes the announcer's brain gets locked and forgets things like the numbers of players that he saw earlier today and even numbers he wrote down, perhaps incorrectly. Outside, 2 balls and a strike. Two on pitch, fouled off, 2-2. And the foul off will allow you to note that there is a big cloud over the sun right now. I'm pretty sure that's not a rain cloud. There was a little bit of dripping going on this afternoon, but that's it. And then, of course, the sun came out and it got immediately 10 degrees hotter outside, and it's ball 4. Lucy walks. He's aboard at first with 2 out. And here is the other Duvet. Jordan Duvet, who flied to center. Remember that nice play by Josh Banfield back in the second. And it's ball 1. Platteville leading 2-0. Single runs in the first and the third. Chopper to the pitcher, and Millsap is able to make the play, and that ends the inning. 1 single erased out of caught stealing, 1 left. Kieler has now left 6 runners aboard in 4, and our score after 4 is Platteville 2, Kieler nothing. Top of the order in the top of the 5th inning for Platteville. Wanizek, Banfield, and Timlin. Platteville with a run in the first and a run in the third and a 2-0 lead after 4. Kieler, meanwhile, hasn't scored despite leaving 6 runners aboard. Winner gets Benton or Cuba City in the semifinal game, which will be at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. Benton and Cuba City playing tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock in the last, I assume it has to be quarterfinal round. Things got started late, and I believe there were supposed to be some games played yet last night that obviously, unless you had scuba equipment, you could not play. First pitch inside, ball 1. Colson Splitter, the second pitcher of the game for Kieler. And I mentioned this a couple innings ago, and now I guess we can get to it. 2 balls, no strikes. And that's a strike, 2-1. You notice that this looks like an inter-squad game because Platteville is wearing red and Kieler is wearing red. Platteville, of course, is the eternal argument, as that's a strike on the outside quarter, 2-2. The eternal argument is, what's the right red? And depending on what team you have the bright red like this team is wearing. You have more of a maroon that you see from some Platteville high school teams, and you have a cardinal, kind of like some other Platteville teams. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fouled off. And meanwhile, you have Kieler wearing red, also in the same shade of red as Platteville. And the interesting thing, of course, is that Kieler is in the Southwestern School District. Colors blue and white for the Wildcats. Although they've had red as a trim in the past. And the pitch is high, and it's 3 balls, 2 strikes to Wanizek. 3-2. Grounded to third. And a throw off the bag and safe at first. And then diving in is Wanizek. That's going to be an error charged to the third baseman. I think. I guess once this is done, you can decide yourself if if that was an error or a base hit. But it was a throw off the line, and Wanizek managed to evade the tag and got back to the base just in case there was any question. And so immediately, of course, the throw back to first base. Wanizek, by the way, has walked and scored twice. He has scored both Platteville runs. And there's a bunt by Banfield, a good bunt. The throw to first, and it gets away. And going to third and holding at third is Wanizek. And the throw did not go out of play, so Banfield is safe at first and stays at first. So it's first and third. And a chance for Platteville to get some insurance here. I think that's going to be an error charge to, let's see, who threw that ball? The ball gets away on the pitch. And so immediately, Banfield gets to second base. So defensive problems here for Kieler. And it's second and third and nobody out. And Connor Timlin at the plate. And that's inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Timlin today walked in the first and grounded to, actually lined to second back in the third. And this has popped up. And it'll be the shortstop. And took out his own teammate, but made the catch. And actually, that was the second baseman making the catch. And taking out his own teammate, the shortstop. 1 out. And here is Prestigard with a chance. And he takes a look now at Kelly Johnston at third to get the sign. Second and third, 1 out. Platteville leading 2-0 in the top of the 5th inning. And that bounces in there, and it's ball 1. The Dylan Prestigard fan club to my right cheering him on. Not sure they heard that. The 1-0 pitch. Fouled off, 1-1. Dylan today popped to the pitcher in the first and grounded to third in the third inning after 3 hits in the first game. Fouled off, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, certainly you'd take a sac fly here or a ground out to the right side that would, you would think, score a run. Platteville looking for insurance to add to their 2-0 lead here in the top of the 5th. And a swing and a miss. The ball is dropped. And so the throw goes to first. And now to the plate. And safe at the plate is Wanizek. Wanizek scores. It's 3-0. And Banfield is able to get to third on the throw. As soon as the ball was thrown by the catcher, Wanizek took off for the plate and beat the ramp at the plate. And so it's 3-0, 2 outs. And here is Seth Millsap. And up the middle. And a nice stop by the shortstop, and the throw in time. So 1 is all Platteville can get, but they do get the run. And our score after 4.5. Platteville 3, Kieler 0.
And the water
3-0 Platteville as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. And Kieler will have the 8, 9, 10 batters due up. Mess, Bell Richard, and Pergandy in a ball game that they've had opportunities, but Kieler has left 6 runners on base in 4 innings and got none of them to the plate. And they have, as I see here, they left second and third in the first. They left bases loaded in the third, and they got a runner. Well, they had one runner left on in the fourth inning. So they've had runners in scoring position. They have not gotten them home, however. Dylan Prestigard, the first 3 innings pitching, and now Wyatt Wanizek in his, let's try it again, Seth Millsap did it again. Seth Millsap in his second inning of work behind the on the mound, I should say. And as we check the clock here, even though the first game started early, I believe we will play the full 6 innings. This game has moved relatively quickly, whereas Platteville's first game was a 5-inning game with Platteville winning 10-4. 8, 9, 10 batters due up. And the first pitch is a strike to Mess, who struck out back in the second inning. And that left 2 runners aboard in scoring position in both cases. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch. 1-2. That looked like something off speed, and Mess swung through it. Winner gets Benson or Cuba City. Sunday afternoon, 2 balls and 2 strikes. It'll be a 12:30 start. Benton and Cuba City playing tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock for the semifinal berth. 2-2. Bounced in there, and it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. And yes, the people sitting behind the fence flinch when the ball bounces up against them. I did not, by the way, when the ball hit. I just dropped the phone. That was all I did. 3-2. Got him at the knees. 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th. And as I said before, our game is about an hour and 10 minutes old, I believe. I didn't notice exactly what the time is, but one way or another, we're going to get to 6, the regulation amount of time, and that's outside ball 1 to Bell Richard, who walked back in the 3rd inning. Bounced in there, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. As mentioned, the pitchers for Platteville have done the job with runners in scoring position. Dylan Prestigard left 2 aboard in the 2nd and bases loaded in the 3rd, and none of them scored. And Millsap left 2 aboard, or actually 1 aboard in the 4th. That's outside, 3 balls, no strikes. In fact, in the 2nd, Kieler had the leadoff batters get aboard, and they stayed on base without coming in. 3 balls, no strikes. And it's ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk for Bell Richard. He's at first with 1 out. And here is Pergandy, who singled in the 3rd inning. And he was the one that got to 3rd and got stranded at 3rd. 3-0 Platteville, bottom of the 5th. And a strike at the knees. The 1-strike pitch from Millsap. Low, 1 ball, 1 strike. And I guess that's somebody from Dickeyville actually next to us, cheering on somebody from Kieler. The 1-1, 2-1. The 2-1, 3-1. Kalen Splinter on deck. And that misses the outside quarter, so a pair of walks, and suddenly 2 aboard, and 1 out. And Splinter is the tying run at the plate. Platteville leading 3-0, single run in the first, third, and fifth inning. Corbin Splinter, excuse me, couldn't read my own handwriting. I think I said Kalen, and it is Corbin Splinter. Which is what happens when you write the lineups out in a hurry before the ball game. 1 strike pitch. Chopper down the third baseline, foul, and it's quickly 2 strikes. We mentioned before the beginning of Hometown Festival Week. Tomorrow morning, the fly-in drive-in breakfast held by Boy Scout Troop 82 at the Platteville Municipal Airport. And the 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, 2 out. Back to the top of the order, and Rogers, who flied to left in the first and struck out in the third. 3-0 Platteville, 2 out, 2 aboard. At the bottom of the fifth inning. And it's popped up third base side. Prestegard says he has it, and he does. Well, Platteville wriggles out of another jam with runners aboard. 2 left, and still no runs scored after a pair of walks. And score after 5, it is Platteville 3, Kieler nothing. Top of the 6th inning, Chamberlain Field at Legion Park, and Platteville in the quarterfinal game, the 6th seed leading number 3 seed Kieler 3-0. And Platteville will have Edge, Drefsinski, and I believe Withrow in the top of the 6th inning, looking to add insurance. Platteville single runs in the first, third, and fifth. And meanwhile, Kieler has left 8 runners on base in 5 innings and gotten none of them in. So Platteville can take some drama out of the 6th inning by getting some runs here, and it's ball 1. As mentioned, Platteville's got single runs in their 3 innings that they have scored in. Fouled off. 1 ball, 1 strike. As mentioned, by the way, or started to mention, Hometown Festival Week in Platteville starts on Sunday with the fly-in drive-in breakfast at the airport, held by Boy Scout Troop 82. That's 7 to noon. High strike. A high strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And then the Mitchell Roundtree Stone Cottage 180th anniversary ice cream social, as that's to right field and clocked by the right fielder. 1 away in the top of the 6th. With Platteville leading 2-0. Here's John Drefsinski, who walked and scored, actually singled and scored in the 2nd inning and walked in the 4th inning. Quickly 0-2. Swing and a miss. And Drefsinski retired. 2 away. So those are the first 2 events tomorrow. There's the Historic Reenactment Fundraiser at Country Kitchen Monday night. portion of each check will be donated for the historic reenactment, which is, of course, during Platteville Dairy Days in September. And then Tuesday night is the Southwest Health Berry Fest here at Legion Park. Wednesday night is a Platteville Regional Chamber Business After Hours, and that's a swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike to Withrow. That's Wednesday at the new Platteville Public Library on West Main Street. And then Thursday is, of course, the party at the park at City Park. The Salute to Volunteers, and the Ken Killian's, one of his bands, will play there. And that's high, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Friday is the first fish boil and corn roast at Trinity Episcopal Church. That's a strike, 2-2. Preceded by a broth fry at Fidelity Bank and Trust Friday afternoon. High, and it's ball 4. And so Withrow aboard with a walk. He is 0 for 1. And Jagger Johnson, who struck out looking back in the 4th inning in his first plate appearance. Platteville leads 3-0, 2 out. And that's ball 1. 2 out in the top of the 6th inning. 2, 3, 4 batters will bat for Kieler in the bottom of the 6th inning, the last inning. Two balls, no strikes. Throw back to first, and I guess he kind of nudged off the plate, and he is picked off. So that's a 1-3 putout. And so we go to the bottom of the 6th inning with Platteville leading 3-0. Two, 3, 4 batters in the bottom of the 6th inning for Kieler. Colson Splinter, Connor McKinley, and Dylan Duve. With Platteville leading 3-0. And Seth Millsap will try to get, I assume that would be a save. I'm not positive of how the save rules work where you have a 6-inning ball game. Dylan Prestegard, if I'm correct, would, as the starting pitcher, get the win because he pitched half the game. And Wadizek tried to finish out here and send Platteville into the semifinal game against either Benton or Cuba City Sunday afternoon. Benton and Cuba City play tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, and then the winner of that game plays the winner of this game at 12:30 Sunday afternoon. Splinter today flied to left in the first, hit by a pitch in the 3rd inning, so he's officially 0 for 1. And again, Kieler with no runs. They have left 8 runners on base. Sorry about the backlighting, by the way, that my phone seems to be doing, and that first pitch inside, ball 1. Kieler has had runners on in every inning except for the 1st inning, but none of them have come in to score. They have bases loaded in the 3rd, 2 runners in the 2nd and the 5th, and 1 in the 4th. Low and outside, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. I don't believe there's a game after this, so I'm not quite sure what the extra inning rules would be. That's a strike if it gets to that. 2 balls and a strike, and Platteville fans obviously hoping it doesn't. Here's the 2-1. 3-1. McKinley on deck. The 3-1. Swing and a miss. 3-2. Splinter, the second pitcher of the game, similar to Millsap. And the 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. Well, from Platteville's perspective, he can run around the bases all he wants as long as they get out. Here's McKinley now. McKinley grounded to second in the first, and then grounded to third in the third. And as you can see, left-handed to throw it back. Even though Seth threw back to the pitcher, obviously you're up 3 runs if you're Platteville, and so you shouldn't necessarily care about the base runners. You should care about the batters and getting outs. Or at least that's the conventional wisdom anyway. Platteville with a 3-0 lead. In the 6th and we think final inning. It is the final inning unless Kieler is able to tie this with 3 runs here. And the pitch is a strike, the throw, and he's out! Nice throw by Edge and a tag applied. And so the leadoff batter got on and is erased on the caught stealing. And meanwhile, 1 strike to McKinley. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, I would think that All Night Charging should be able to get the phone back to where it is for the semifinal, where it needs to be for the semifinal game. That's fouled off at the plate, and it's 1-2. Again, the semifinal game is at 12:30 tomorrow. If my reading of the chart is correct, I think the championship game would be at about 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. 1 ball, 2 strikes to McKinley.
I got you. Oh, yeah.
2-2. And I believe the sun is about to reappear in moments here after a welcome respite given the humidity. 2-2. Down the third base line, rolls foul. And we'll do 2-2 again. By the way, in case you're a little annoyed about the fence, I am holding this phone. There's no tripod or anything like that, so that would explain the shake, I suppose. It's all on cell phone, or smartphone, I guess. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And a chopper line right to Prestigard. 2 away in the bottom of the 6th. Now Duve, who singled in the 2nd and was left at 3rd, and then singled in that was the 2nd inning, and then singled in the 4th, and was erased on a fielder's choice. And quickly 1 strike. Bounces away, 1 ball, 1 strike. As the sun starts to come out. And I'm sure any moment now we'll notice how hot it suddenly became. 3-0, Platteville, 2 out. Bottom of the 6th in the quarterfinal game. And that is line to left field for a base hit. So Duve keeps things going here. He is 2 for 2 in the game. And now here is Trano, who singled in the 2nd, reached on a fielder's choice, and then was caught stealing in the 4th inning. Platteville leading 3-0, 2 out. And that's a hard hit ball to short or second for a base hit. And the ball gets away and rolls to the wall, and it'll be 2nd and 3rd after the throw to second base. So a single and an error. And suddenly, the tying run is aboard at the plate in Lucy, who started at pitching today. He singled in the 2nd. And he was the one actually who reached out of fielder's choice. Actually, Duve, before that, had grounded out to short. He reached out of fielder's choice. Was caught stealing in the 4th inning. 3-0 Platteville, 2 out. High, ball 1. And again, it's runners at second and third with 2 out. But if you're Platteville, your only concern is getting that last out and going to play the semifinal game tomorrow afternoon. Kieler, meanwhile, one swing of the bat from tying the game. High, ball 1. Correction, 2 balls, no strikes. 2-0. Strike, 2-1. Runners at second and third, but they don't tie the game. It's the batter who is the potential tying run at the plate. The 2-1 to Lucy. Outside, 3 balls and a strike. Julian Duve is on deck. The 3-1 pitch, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. So 2 hits with an error and a walk have loaded the bases with 2 out. But it's still 3-0 Platteville with 2 away. And Duve has flied to center and grounded back to the pitcher. So he's 0 for 2. Second time Kieler has loaded the bases in this game. That's outside, ball 1. They have not gotten anybody in yet. 1 ball, no strikes. Time called. And in the middle of the drama here, Trantle decides he needs to tie his shoe. So play stopped for a moment. And Millsap now ready with the 1-0 pitch. Strike 1, I should say, inside corner. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Single elimination, so whoever loses is done for the tournament. And whoever wins plays Benton or Cuba City tomorrow. And that's a strike, and it's 1-2. Kieler down to its final strike. Benton or Cuba City awaits in the semifinal tomorrow at 12:30. 1-2. Chopped at the plate and picked up by Millsap, who throws high to first. And 2 runs will score. And getting to third and holding is Lucy. And it's 3-2. So that goes as an error. Two-run score. It is 3-2, and now a conference at the plate, and are we going to have a pitching change? It's first and third. Now the tie run at third, and the winning run at first base. And indeed, now here's Dylan. That's a ball. And Millsap's still out there. And that's a strike, 1-1. Two away. Tying run at third, win run at first. And it's outside, 2-1. So with that, you have the option, you can reload the bases. I think Platteville would really prefer that not happen because you don't want the winning run to get to second base here. Strike, 2-2, 1 strike away again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, first and third. And Platteville leading 3-2. And the 2-2. 3-2. Base, well, not bases loaded, but a full count now. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And it's ball 4. And the bases are loaded again. Well, here's Bell Richard. And with bases loaded, the tying run at third, the win run at second, and that's a strike. The 1-strike pitch. 0-2. Again, 1 pitch away. Nothing like a little drama here at a Saturday early evening. Platteville leads 3-2, 2 out, bottom of the 6th. And Seth Millsap trying to close this out and send Platteville to the semifinal. The 0-2 pitch. Low, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bases loaded, so the tying run at third. And the winning run at second for Kieler. 1-2. Get him! Strike 3 on the outside corner. And although Kieler scores 2 runs, they leave the bases loaded. And Platteville wins 3-2. And so Platteville will play Benton or Cuba City in the semifinal. Benton and Cuba City play at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, and then the semifinal is tomorrow afternoon at 12:30. Final score, Platteville 3, Kieler 2. Thanks for joining us.